Addict MMA. Welcome back, I'm Derek Evil. This is Addict MMA. Thanks for joining me once again for UFC's 114. Rashad Evans takes on Quentin the Rampage Jackson. Very anticipated main event. Very anticipated fight card. I'm looking forward to it. Starting right off the bat, you got Diego Sanchez coming out after a big loss to BJ Penn, a 5-round title fight war that saw Diego losing the decision. He's taking on John Hathaway, the English John Hathaway. This is going to be a very exciting fight to start off the night. We got Diego Sanchez, obviously, who's a very aggressive boxing style, who's very overall aggressive style, very aggressive with his wrestling, his takedowns, very aggressive ground and pound, very aggressive boxing. The problem I have with Diego Sanchez is he doesn't do lateral movements. He's more of a forward and backwards kind of moving guy, which in mixed martial arts we all know is probably not the best way to do things. Side to side, I mean, look at what Frankie Edgar did to BJ Penn. He didn't win that fight because he was a badass and he was just so much better of an athlete or a fighter. He won that fight because he moved side to side and he kept moving side to side. That's the biggest thing I think with Diego Sanchez that I've got a problem with. As aggressive as he is, he's a straightforward kind of person. There's never side to side. John Hathaway, 12-0, former rugby player, trains ZD Fight School in London. He's also trained with American Top Team and 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. His last fight was a win over Paul Taylor at UFC 105. It was a very exciting decision. We all remember that. For this fight, I'm going to have to go ahead and say I think Diego Sanchez is looking for a victory here. Very, very hungry competitor. And I think for this welterweight fight, we're going to see Diego Sanchez come out more aggressive than ever. And, it's going to be a very tough fight. John Hathaway, obviously very, very well versed in his MMA game. Very tough competitor, very good stand-up. There's going to be a war for 3 rounds, and I see this fight going to Diego Sanchez's decision. Moving on to Todd Duffy versus Mike Russo. This is very exciting. And, in that we haven't seen much of either one of these guys. This is Mike Russo's second fight in the UFC. He was victorious in his first one. But Todd Duffy is the current record holder for the fastest knockout in UFC history at 7 seconds. We all remember that when he knocked out Tim Hague at UFC 102. Todd Duffy, he's a boxing-based fighter. When he's 16, he started out at a boxing gym. It was a really crummy boxing gym. He didn't get the best training, didn't have the best sparring partners. Moved on to a better boxing gym, and then used to rent the old UFC fights. And as he started watching UFC fights, he became an MMA competitor, working for an MMA gym and honing his skills. Mike Russo, 12-1, well-versed in submissions. He wins most of his fights via tap out. Well-versed. I mean, arm bars, guillotine chokes. We're talking about Darce chokes. I mean, the guy's got it all. His base is basically wrestling, jiu-jitsu. He's got a little bit of boxing back there. He fought for Adrenaline MMA, and he fought for Pride back in the day there. He's got wins over Jason Guida and M1 Global veteran Roman Zensov. He's a Chicago police officer. Obviously, that has nothing to do with a fight, but, these Chicago police officers, these dudes are tough. I don't care who you are. Chicago police officers are always tough, except for Steve Wilkos. He's a puss. For this fight, I think Todd Duffy's going to have to stay away from the ground. He's going to want to utilize that boxing game, and I believe that, obviously, with his power, his strength, and his boxing ability, if he can keep Mike Russo standing, then this fight will end for Todd Duffy. And I see this fight ending in the first round. Either way, even if Mike Russo wins the fight, I think it'll probably be a first round, maybe second round victory. But I'm going Todd Duffy, first round KO. Moving on, we've got Michael Bisping taking on Dan Miller. Now, I can't stand Michael Bisping. A lot of us American fans can't stand Michael Bisping. He just runs his mouth a little bit too much, and he's an idiot. He's taking on Dan Miller, very tough competitor. Obviously, Dan Miller coming off of a couple of losses in a row. Damian Maia, he lost a decision to, and then he lost a decision to Chael Sonnen before that. So obviously losing fights to top competitors. But Dan Miller, he's a black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We all know that under Jamie Cruz. Like I said, two back-to-back losses is kind of going to want to drive him to win this fight. I don't see it happening. Even though, Dan Miller's got victories over guys like Jake Rochelle and Matt Horwich, the Bible-pushing Matt Horwich. But, honest to God, I think in this fight, it's probably going to stay more on the feet. And I think Michael Bisping's stand-up might be a little more calculated. Both guys are coming off a loss. Michael Bisping's loss to Vanderlei Silva was not a bad loss. It was a very exciting fight. I enjoyed myself watching it. Now, if Dan Miller can get Michael Bisping to the ground, it might be a different story because Michael Bisping has a pretty decent submission defense ground game. But as we all know, if you're good top position grappler, you can hold Michael Bisping down and do minimal damage to him, but you can definitely earn your points. Unfortunately, though, I'm not pulling for Dan Miller in this fight, or not that I'm not pulling for him, but I just don't see it happening. I think Michael Bisping is going to win this fight probably by a decision. Dan Miller's got to look for a couple things. Michael Bisping likes to circle out to the power pan. He likes to circle to your right. He also, like I said, he's not the greatest on the ground. He's got a very decent ground game, but not the greatest. I think Dan Miller's jiu-jitsu is probably a little bit better. However, Michael Bisping, unanimous decision. Moving on, this is going to be great. Dude, this is Forrest Griffin versus Antonio Nogueira. Rogerio. Forrest Griffin taking on Lil Nog. It's going to be very exciting. Actually, guys, for a lot of the casual MMA fans out there, what you don't know is that Lil Nogueira, light heavyweight, also fought at Pride, he's a laundry list, a slew of fighters that he has just taken out, a hell of a great mixed martial arts background. He's 10-3 with a boxing base. This is kind of the difference between Lil Nogueira and regular, big Antonio Nogueira from the heavyweight division, is that Rogerio is primarily a boxer. He's primarily a stand-up fighter. He still has the same credibility and the same pedigree as a background in jiu-jitsu with the black belt, trains at, Black House with Anderson Silva, his brother Nog. However, his stand-up is what definitely defines the difference between the two Nogueiras. He was a South American Games gold medalist winner, Pan American bronze medalist winner. He was 2006, 2007 Brazilian super heavyweight boxing champion. He's got victories over guys like Hendo, Dan Henderson, Kazushi Sakuraba, Alistair Overeem, Kazuhiro Nakamura, Guy Mezger, Vladimir Matyushenko, and most recently, obviously, Louis Kane when he defeated Louis Kane by knockout at UFC. For this fight, Forrest Griffin, who doesn't love Forrest Griffin? It's just that, it's up and down with Forrest Griffin. Is he which Forrest is coming to the cage? Is it going to be the Forrest that's ready to fight, or is it going to be the Forrest Griffin that's, lacking that confidence and that, I don't even know what it is. Sometimes it just seems like he fights real lazy. Nogueira is not gonna fight like that. Unfortunately for Forrest Griffin, I see my favorite of the two Nogueiras, Rogerio and Nogueira, taking the victory, and I don't see it being a decision. Not to take anything away from Forrest Griffin, very tough competitor, but with a guy like Nogueira, who is one of the world's best in jiu-jitsu and one of the world's best in boxing, striking, Brazilian's best anyway. I don't want to say the world because a lot of you guys out there are gonna go, well, he's not the best in the world. Screw you guys. He's one of the best in Brazil. He's one of the best in the MMA stand-up wise in the light heavyweight division. You ask me, he's going to destroy Forrest Griffin, second round, TKO, and then we're going to see this guy in the future as the king of the light heavyweight division. Rogerio Nogueira, all the way, second round, TKO. Going on in the main event, Sugar Rashad Evans takes on Quentin the Rampage Jackson. This is, obviously we're very excited for this fight. It's taken a little time for us to get it. Obviously, Quentin Jackson wanted to go, be a movie star, and, he thinks he's a good actor. Look, I've seen movies like Midnight Meat Train where he had a cameo in that. I've got two abortion of MMA fight movies. I've got the, Never Surrender, and then Death Warrior. Presented by Tap Out. These movies suck. Go watch them. Buy them. I've got them all both on DVD. Quentin Jackson's in both of them. Your acting sucks, dude. And you're playing B.A. Baracus in the A-Team. Okay, that doesn't take much ability because Mr. T was a crappy actor. So all you really got to do is hold a gun and say, I pity the fool. That's a wrap. So yeah, you're not a superstar, but you do get to be a superstar in the cage when you take on Sugar Rashad Evans. I'm pulling for Rashad. Quentin Jackson's unintelligent. He's ignorant. He's stupid. I can throw insults all day at him. The guy never has anything intelligent to say. He was a coach on The Ultimate Fighter, and the whole time he kept saying, oh, I'm not a coach. I'm not a coach. Well, then, dude, you shouldn't have taken the job. Rashad Evans, on the other hand, very smart fighter, very calculated fighter. His fight against Thiago Silva was not the funnest fight to watch. It was not the most exciting, most dynamic of fights. But still, he got a win, and he utilized his ground game to the safest point. He probably saw that as a very dangerous fight, and he wanted to just make sure he got the win. Rashad Evans is 19-1-1, so he's no joke. Former light heavyweight champion, both of these guys. I see this fight going 3 rounds. I'm not sure that anybody would. With the knockout power of both guys, I kind of just see it going to a decision fight, but I think it's gonna be very exciting. I think Rashad Evans will try to utilize some of that wrestling ability, some takedowns, but all in all, I see this as being a stand-up fight because these guys really just want to punch the shit out of each other. So at the end of the night, I'm going to go Rashad Evans, unanimous decision. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Derek Evil. This has been Addict MMA UFC 114 fight predictions. Leave your comments, post them. If you don't like me, bite me, but leave your comments anyway. Always fun. Tune in and make sure to keep tuning in because I'm pretty sure I'm putting up a new one called Addict MMA, the show. Kind of be like a 20, maybe 30-minute little video, kind of talk show format. So I want you guys to keep tuning in. Give me your ideas or your whatever. Just give me your feedback. Anyway, Addict MMA is out.